Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going into some really unsettling territory. We've gathered a collection of true encounters, stories that honestly show how danger can just be hiding right there in everyday life. These aren't made up. They're real experiences from people who ended up in, frankly, terrifying situations, often just because they trusted someone or maybe let their guard down for a moment. So our aim today is to really look at these accounts, dig into the disturbing details, and maybe understand a bit more about, vulnerability and where threats can come from.
Exactly. And what's really striking, I think, is how fast a perfectly normal situation can flip, become something sinister.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder about how unpredictable people can be and why being aware of your surroundings is just so crucial.
Okay, let's start with the first one. It's deeply unsettling. It comes from someone we're calling Trish. So it's late, it's raining hard, and Trish is driving home from her diner job. She takes this usual route, scenic, she says, but at night it's dark, mostly forest, with these little empty parking lots here and there. And as she's driving past one next to a deli, she sees this woman, older, maybe mid-50s, but really tall and very scat, standing under a light post, just waving her down in the pouring rain. Now, Trish, she wants to be a good person, so she slows down, pulls over, offers the woman a ride. The woman comes up to the car, opens the door, and she's like, "Oh, thank you, you're a hero." Very grateful. Trish asks where she's going. "Oh, just up the road to town," the woman says. She gets in, soaking wet, dripping all over the car floor, and Trish notices she's missing quite a few teeth, which she later said was very off-putting.
That detail, the teeth, it immediately creates a sense of unease, even if the person seems friendly. It's a visual disruption of the norm.
Right. But despite that, the woman seems sweet, apparently smiled the whole time, didn't really give off any, immediate threat vibes. Trish felt bad, leaving another woman out in that weather. So she drives on.
And that's the moment, isn't it? The decision based on empathy. It's such a human reaction.
Totally. So a bit later, Trish needs gas, pulls into a station. She asks the woman, "Hey, need anything from inside?" Trying to be nice again. The woman says no. Trish goes in, pays for gas, grabs a couple of seltzers. She's only gone a few minutes. Comes back out to her SUV, and the woman's gone. Just vanished. The gas station lot was tiny and closed, nowhere to really go unseen. Trish felt, she said slightly bad, but also slightly relieved. So she finishes up, pays, and drives home.
The vanishing act itself is bizarre. It leaves this unresolved tension, this slight feeling of wrongness.
Yeah, exactly. So she gets home. Her apartment's on the first floor of a two-family house. The main front door into the little foyer area, usually unlocked. But her actual apartment door, always locked. She puts her stuff down, takes some melatonin because she's not tired yet, tries to sleep. But her mind's still going, thinking about that woman. She hears little noises, thinks, oh, it's just the upstairs neighbor. Then later she wakes up, groggy from the melatonin, thirsty, and she sees someone crouched down in the corner of her bedroom behind a dresser, legs folded up.
That's terrifying. And the state she's in, drowsy,
Yeah.
maybe questioning if it's the melatonin that plays right into it. Your brain tries to find a rational explanation first.
Oh, absolutely. She thought she was hallucinating, shook her head, even slapped herself, trying to snap out of it. But then the figure, it stood up, and it just walked silently out of her bedroom. No footsteps. No sound of the door opening or closing, just gone. She's frozen in bed, completely freaked out, wondering if she's losing her mind. Eventually, she grabs her phone, calls her dad. He's obviously confused, says maybe it was a night terror.
A common dismissal, the night terror explanation. It minimizes the fear, tries to contain it within the realm of dreams.
Right. So she stays on the phone with him, searches her apartment, nothing, locks her bedroom door, finally gets back to sleep somehow. The next morning, though, getting ready for the gym, she goes to leave, heads for the foyer door, and it's unlocked. Her stomach just drops. Was it real? She checks her apartment again, still nothing. Then goes out to her SUV to put her gym bag in the back seat. And that's when she sees it. Damp, kind of yellow brownish stains all over the floor back there. And her blanket, she always kept a blanket in the back, it's gone.
Oh, wow.
And it hits her. The woman must have slipped into the back seat at the gas station while she was inside paying. Then when Trish got home, the woman got out, found that unlocked foyer door, and waited. And then came into her bedroom.
The violation.
It's profound.
It's profound. Slipping into the car, then the home.
Yeah.
The blanket being the only thing taken. It's not about robbery.
No, it feels more personal, more symbolic somehow.
Exactly. It's about intrusion, about leaving a mark, making the person feel unsafe in their most private spaces. It's deeply disturbing.
She called her dad again, totally frantic. He told her to check again if anything else was missing. If not, calling the police might not achieve much. Nothing else was gone. Just the blanket from the car. Trish was so shaken up, she didn't go to the gym, stayed locked in her apartment. She actually moved out at the end of that month, couldn't shake the feeling.
Understandably. That sense of security is shattered.
Okay, let's shift gears. Story number 2. This one involves a high schooler. A really scary night that started, like many do, at a party. First year of high school. They're at this house party with a friend, Michael. And Michael says something kind of weird, tells them to leave their phone in his car. Says it's safer, so it won't get lost or stolen at the party.
That's immediately questionable. Isolating someone from their phone, their connection, that's a potential red flag right there, even if it sounds helpful.
Right. But they trusted him, left the phone. So hours go by, lots of drinking. The high schooler gets really drunk, disoriented, visions blurry. Around midnight, maybe 1 a.m., they realize, okay, time to go home. But they can't find Michael anywhere. And their phone. Still in Michael's car, which is also gone.
Yeah.
So the only option is walking. It's not super far, but it's late, it's chilly. They start stumbling down the street, feeling dizzy, thinking about Michael just ditching them, feeling stupid about drinking so much, tired, cold. They decide to hitchhike. Just sticks out their thumb, cars drive past. Minutes go by. Starts to feel pretty uneasy out there alone. Finally, this gray truck pulls over. Driver's described as an old there-looking man with a beard. The kid is just grateful for a ride, gets in, mumbles their address.
Yep.
Too out of it for conversation.
In that state, drunk, disoriented, grateful for any help is peak vulnerability. It's exactly what someone looking for an opportunity might seek out.
Exactly. So they're driving, but this uneasy feeling starts creeping in, and then the truck drives right past their house. Their gut is screaming, get out now. But they're too drunk, too slow to react, can't really make themselves move or speak clearly. Just as they're trying to form the words to tell him to stop, the man turns to them. He has this sinister look, a dark smirk, and he says, you shouldn't be drunk while you're hitchhiking because you'd make a very easy target.
Wow.
Yeah.
He actually said it out loud. That's not just identifying vulnerability, that's announcing intent. It's a power play, verbalizing the control he feels he has. Utterly chilling.
It's horrifying. Then he reaches over, starts rubbing their leg, but just then, before anything else happens, sirens. Loud sirens, flashing red and blue lights right behind the truck. Police. The man completely panics, slams on the brakes, unlocks the doors. The high schooler doesn't hesitate, just jumps out, runs stumbling towards the police car, tells the officer everything.
Incredible timing, pure chance, seemingly.
Yeah, it turned out the cop was actually looking for someone in a gray truck who'd just stolen something from a nearby store. The kid didn't know if it was the same guy, honestly didn't care at that point. Just relief. The officer gave them a ride the rest of the way home.
So you have to ask, was that just luck? Or was it a really harsh lesson learned about drinking too much, about safety, about trusting strangers when you're compromised?
Probably a bit of both, I'd imagine. A terrifyingly close call.
Definitely. It highlights the danger, but also maybe the idea that sometimes things do intervene, but you absolutely cannot count on that. Personal responsibility is key.
Absolutely. Okay, on to our third story. And this one might be the most chilling of all. It involves an artist, 29 years old at the time, hitchhiking across Europe. This was back in October, some years ago. They were going from Leipzig, Germany to Paris, France. Needed to pick up some paintings from an exhibition there. So they're at a gas station trying to get a ride. They meet this French guy. Described him as somewhat dirty and unshaven, driving a small and shabby car. He spoke broken English. The artist didn't speak French.
Already a bit of an odd vibe, maybe, but hitchhiking often involves accepting rides that aren't, perfectly pristine.
True. The artist was just happy to get a ride heading towards Paris, so they got in, they made some small talk, where are you from, that kind of thing. Then the driver does something incredibly strange. He reaches across the artist's lap, opens the glove compartment, and pulls out 4 passports, all belonging to young women.
Whoa, okay, that's not just strange, that's actively alarming. Passports are official documents, intensely personal. Why would he have those?
Exactly. And then he starts explaining them, one by one. Points to the first photo, says, my girlfriend, she died, fell off my motorcycle. Points to the second, another girlfriend, car crash. The third, brain tumor. And the fourth, fell off a horse. After listing these, completely separate tragic deaths of 4 young women supposedly connected to him, he looks at the artist and says, I'm such an unlucky man.
That's deeply disturbing. It feels like a performance. The specific, varied causes of death, the claim of being unlucky, it's designed to unsettle, to create this bizarre, uncomfortable intimacy. It's a psychological manipulation.
Yeah.
Testing boundaries.
Yeah, testing boundaries feels right. The artist is, understandably, feeling very uneasy now. Then the driver announces he wants to take a shortcut to Paris. Not really asking, just stating it. The artist kind of assumes, okay, maybe some back roads, cute villages, but no. He turns off the main highway onto this implausible dirt road, goes through a field, and plunges straight into heavy woods. The road gets narrower, darker. The woods are dense, creepy. The artist described it as looking like the perfect place to hide something.
Taking someone off the main route into an isolated, concealed area, that's a classic predatory move. Removing witnesses, escape routes, increasing control.
Totally. Deep inside these woods, the driver suddenly yells in his broken English, "I don't want to speak English anymore!" And then just silence. Complete, uncomfortable silence in the darkening forest. The artist feels this surge of adrenaline. Fight or flight is kicking in. The driver looks super tense. His lips are moving slightly like he's talking to himself. The artist slowly, carefully moves their hand towards the door handle.
The command to stop speaking the shared language is huge. It severs the last thin connection, asserts absolute dominance, and isolates the victim completely in that moment. The tension must have been unbearable.
Unimaginable. And then the car starts to slow down. Really, really, really slow. The artist's mind is racing. Is he going to stop? Does he have a gun? Am I going to die here? And they describe this internal shift. Transformed into a potential killer myself. This primal calculation starts happening. Can I overpower him? Can I stop him? What do I have to do to survive? They just locked eyes with him, giving him this look, what they called a nothing-to-lose stare.
That's pure survival instinct, the lizard brain taking over, assessing the threat, calculating capabilities, and sometimes projecting defiance can alter the predator's calculation, making yourself seem like not such an easy victim anymore, even non-verbally. It's a high-stakes gamble.
Incredible. And then suddenly the car speeds up again. They emerge from the forest, back out into the fading sunlight, and the driver turns to the artist and asks completely casually if they want to come to his house for the night, have dinner.
The whiplash. From terror back to a semblance of normalcy. It's disorienting. Another psychological tactic, perhaps.
Maybe. The artist just said, very politely, no. Their first word since being told not to speak English. They genuinely believe staying silent during that slow drive in the woods saved their life. Maybe broke the script the driver had in his head. He dropped them off back on the highway. The artist was so drained, they just collapsed and slept right there by the road. Now here's the kicker. 20 years pass. The artist is back in Leipzig, teaching English. They tell this story to one of their students, a German business student. The student listens, pulls out his phone, Googles French serial killers, and he shows the artist a photo.
Don't tell me.
It was him, the driver, Patrice Allègre, a known French serial killer, active around 1990, the exact time this happened, known for leaving bodies on roadsides in France.
Oh my God. So that wasn't just a creepy encounter. That
was a brush with a serial killer. The passports, the woods, the stories, it all clicks into place with horrifying clarity 20 years later.
The chilling realization of how close they actually came to not getting out of that car. It recontextualizes the entire memory. The trauma must be immense, even decades later.
Absolutely. The artist says they often wonder if those woods were where he buried his victims. They regret not going to the police back then, though they tried later, but he was already caught and jailed, so nothing came of it. They describe the experience as leaving a dark light inside them, feeling like somehow the souls of the girls escaped with me. Just a profound, haunting weight to carry.
What a burden. That connection, feeling like you carry something of the other victims. It's powerful.
Wow, what an absolutely chilling set of stories we've gone through today. Each one, in its own way, really drives home that horror isn't just movies or books, is it? It can be right there, in a moment of kindness, a lapse in judgment, a random encounter.
It really does. And it makes you think, doesn't it? We live in a world that's so connected now, but does that make us safer, more aware? Or does it sometimes give us this, false sense of security? These accounts just hammer home how vital it is to trust your gut instincts, to really pay attention to your surroundings, and frankly, to make responsible choices, especially when you might be vulnerable or your judgment's impaired. That line between kindness and vulnerability can be so thin.
Definitely food for thought. Take a moment as you're listening to really think about these narratives. What resonates with you? Does it change how you think about offering help or even just walking home alone? How easily trust can be twisted? We hope this deep dive into these true, unsettling experiences has given you something to consider. If these real-life horror stories captivated you, please do hit that like button, maybe share this with someone else who appreciates these kinds of accounts, and definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more. Until next time, please stay safe out there and stay curious.